Have you ever had a situation where you just couldn't get through to the other person, where their defensive barrier was on red alert and set high? In that situation, most of us just get mad. We fail to recognize in that moment that the other person has a beating heart too. And that heart is beating loudly in fear, in anxiety, in stress, in loneliness. And we fail to see that. When their heart is beating so loudly, they cannot hear you. So what is the solution? The solution is you have to listen first. You have to prove that you care enough about them and how they feel to take the time to understand why they are behaving, reacting, responding the way they are, rather than getting mad because they're not doing what you want them to do. So here are the 5 valuable questions that help connect to the heart of the matter. To get the most from this activity, let's think now of someone that you're either having an issue with right this moment or someone that you've had an issue with in the past, and this will help you see how you could have handled that. So think now of that person that you think is difficult. It could be a loved one, it could be anyone in your life, a co-worker, your boss, anyone that you're having an issue with. How do you break down those barriers? First of all, we need to attach an emotion to what you think the other person is feeling. So this relates back to the old walk in their shoes. So step into their shoes and genuinely think to yourself, now if I was them, what would I be thinking in this situation? And then ask the first question. And the first question is simply this: I'm trying to get a sense of what you're feeling, and I think it's frustration. And then you follow that up with, is that correct? Now look, it might be frustration, it might be anger, they could be afraid, they could be anxious, they could be shocked, surprised. Who knows what they're feeling, and you actually don't know either. You're taking a guess, you're giving it your best guess, you're letting them know that you care enough to ask the question, and then you check in. Is that correct? Now, they might not really respond. They might say no. Who knows how they'll respond to this? All depending how they respond, you might need to follow it up with, then what are you feeling? Now, you might think that they won't respond, but you don't know that until you actually ask the question. I can tell you right now that if I was upset with someone about something and they actually asked me this question, I'd be gobsmacked for a start. No one in my entire life has ever asked me a question that's let me know that they actually care about what I'm feeling. So then what are you feeling? And once they tell you, this is what you say. So let's say it's frustration. Then you follow that up with, how frustrated are you? Or how angry are you? Or how anxious are you? Now, the interesting thing is that you need to give the person time to respond here. Resist the temptation to jump in and not even give them a chance to respond, because it might take them quite a few seconds to actually respond. And then you might be horrified to find out that that response is pent up, the pent up emotion inside of them comes tumbling out. So you need to actually handle that. How frustrated are you? So this is question number 3. Once they calm down, if indeed they do vent here, this is what you ask, and you're frustrated because please understand that every single one of these questions must be asked from a curious place. You must want to genuinely know why this person is angry, anxious, frustrated, sad, whatever the helpless, hopeless, whatever the feeling is. Okay. Let the person vent. So this is going to be the hardest thing for you, is to actually let the person vent, because the worst thing you can do is become defensive here, because the minute you become defensive, you've stopped listening. Now, the 4th question is an interesting one. Here's what it is. Tell me what needs to happen for that feeling to feel better. Then, once they've answered that, here is the final question. What part can I play in making that happen? We have a little bit of a dance here, because it might be better to say, what part can you play in making that happen? Or indeed, you might need to say both, one after the other. So this is a script. It's not cast in stone. You get that it's simply a way to show you the essence of what you need to say. The actual words you use, up to you. Now, this is a brilliant way to find out what's really happening for the other person, and to find out what they're feeling and why they're feeling. Well, why is this important? Because you will not go anywhere unless you know this. They will not show you anything about what they're really thinking and feeling until you show that you're prepared to listen to it. So why do I love this stuff? Well, this is my manifesto: to unite and inspire those who choose to lead their best life. And the very fact that you've watched this video to this end shows me that you have the determination to lead your best life. And in leading your best life, you need to learn how to listen. Oh, this is fun.